Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone for Kaiserreich. So let us continue on with our lovely Ukraine game. So we basically got hit by Black Monday. Guess what? Things are not looking well. People are mad at us. They're broke, they're poor, they're starving. Let them. You know, that's fine. We can deal with that situation come sometime in the future. Drafting a relief bill. With the economic situation growing worse by the hour, with no positive development in sight, it falls on the Soma and the government to draft a comprehensive piece of legislation which will allow a major increase in government debt to stabilize prices, purchase up excess products, and to organize great amount of emergency work to ease the financial plight of the people, thus restoring confidence of the people in the ruling regime. No doubt such endeavor will require considerable effort from our divided legislator. To pass the bill and give Ukrainian parliamentarianism another chance, you must secure the support of 4 out of the 5 factions. A unanimous decision would be even better to prove that the Soam is capable of putting aside differences when needed to. Okay, so I believe we do want this to pass. Because if we basically show that there's no future for parliamentarianism in Ukraine, I can't imagine our liberals are going to be doing that well post any kind of civil war that might occur, right? It doesn't seem very likely. So what can we do? Because that got canceled. Actually got automatic and completed. That's okay. That's good. Get more support, 100 political power, more support. Well, you're more support and stability, or just 100 political power. You know what? Let's support domestic companies. I cannot do that because we're actually currently doing the thing about the arsenals. Right, yes. No, I know exactly what's going on. Don't question it. International East Fortification Council. Is this just the thing about the Ostwall? I don't really care about the Ostwall too much. I mean, we'll get involved, of course. Give them some artillery pieces or some support equipment. You know, the things we usually do when we have to ever play anybody in Eastern Ukraine. Or Eastern Europe, I should say. So at 606, 29 trains. Aircraft is not looking great for us. How many troops do we have? We have 22. And we're not training any new units. You're currently in 18 combat with, which is not fantastic. But you know what? Just for right now, we'll just throw 3 infantry into the list. I'm sure it'll all come out in the wash in the end. So we're good. We're good. The US KHD suggests creation of a temporary class council in the Soim. Experiments with direct class representation in politics always were a part of the US KHD's agenda, arguing that only representatives of the producing classes have the necessary skills, experience, dedication to guide the political and economic development of the nation. A group of US KHD deputies headed by Mykola Kuchbai have suggested to create a special council comprised of delegates from chosen by state unions, farmers cooperatives, employers, and landowners organizations. Such an assembly should participate in solving the current economic crisis alongside the Soim. The proposals met with fierce criticism by the URDP, which claims that this institution, supposedly designed to alleviate class conflicts, will only exacerbate them, with representatives in big landowners and industrialists poised to completely dominate it. So you are... Yes, and then who is the other party? URDP? Yeah, we want the social liberals to be happier, so... Perhaps we can convince others. No. We will support the social liberals where we can, because again, we do kind of want them to be in power afterwards. This will lower for the market liberals. Right now, market liberals are opposing it. It's not going to pass at the moment. Oppose neutral. We can sway you. Because if we get like market liberal, like a market liberal, social liberal coalition, maybe that would be our best bet going into the future. Divisions in the Hetman Coalition. The US KHD was a junior partner in the Hetman Coalition since its inception in 1924. Essentially forced into union with the UDKHP by the Hetman's direct intervention, they nonetheless remained true to their radical neo-monarchist beliefs. After the passing of the movement's founder, political philosopher, and advisor to the Hetman, Vyacheslav Leplinsky, relations between the US KHD and other conservative forces have become more strained. Seen as too preoccupied with radical and impractical classocratic ideas by others, the movement still remains committed to their role in the coalition, in the name of national unity and for the glory of the Hetman's Ukraine. Recent disagreements, though, may prove to be the last straw. Rejection of the class council project infuriated the US KDP and spurred numerous rumors of the possible departure from the coalition. With the agrarian status being fed up with the constant role as lesser partners, only time will tell if these rumors will bear a semblance of fruit. Well, you know what? Get the hell out of here. We don't need them. We don't need them in their silly little ideas. Okay. We're gonna get the arsenals. Fantastic. You know, which was industrialization, score 50 political power, cheaper or better infantry equipment. Sounds good to me. We will then. Well, I mean, you just raise support for everybody and also 5% stability, so I don't see a reason to say no to that one. We then want to sway the URDP a little bit more if we can, because they're going to be neutral. But I might actually be swaying them in such a way that opposition feels emboldened. With the recent troubles of the Hetmanate coalition over the formation of the class council, the URDP seems poised to take advantage of these developments. In a scathing speech delivered today on the floor of the Soim, Andrei Novalsky, leader of the URDP primary faction, has seriously attacked the Hetman's coalition, highlighting its recent failures in fighting increased factionalism. Again, we want them. Lower support. Decentralization is a key issue. It is true that the highly centralized bureaucracy of the Ukrainian state is sluggish in its response to the economic crisis. To alleviate this issue, deputies from several factions of the Soim have suggested empowering local authorities in the hard-hit regions. Additionally, they plan to create special offices for the major Ukrainian region, tasked with coordinating immediate response to the crisis with local business, professional, and political organizations. While this initiative has significantly support from the Soim, especially among the independents associated with the Crimean deputy Asan Sabri Azov, there are rumors of several high-ranking members of the SHD reaching out to the Hetman and his close circle on the matter. Apparently, the secretive clique fears that delegating so much power to the regions suffer from unrest will only embolden local insurgents and provocateurs. And besides, only a strong central authority will be able to curtail the worst excesses of the crisis within the acceptable time frame. Let's have everybody like me a little bit more. We're currently at neutral with everybody. Behind closed doors. Proceed with caution. Turns out the rumor of the SHD meddling weren't entirely unfounded. General Palovets Orianstaya has been visiting Hetman's private residence several times in the span of just a few days. Colonel Hamzin was reportedly meeting with high-ranking bureaucrats from the Ministries of Interior and Finance. While it's unknown if these meetings have borne any fruit, it nonetheless is a very worrying sign, and many members of the Soim are alarmed about possible developments. Just let me live my life, okay? The birth of, okay, let's first, before we do this, let's get our next research. There we go. And the birth of the all-Ukrainian democratic movement. As the already miserable situation in Western Ukraine is plunged into total hopelessness by the economic crisis, it didn't take much to be set aflame. Massive protests have been organized across the West, and in many places the police have been confined to their stations by angry peasants. Exiled Republican leaders such as Pilotroya and Voychenko have returned to Ukraine and have started organizing rallies and calling for civilian non-obedience. As a political front for change, the most major democratic and socialist parties have formed the VDR, the All-Ukrainian Democratic Movement, comprises the USDRP, the UPSR, and the RRB, and strongly supported by the Boryobis and even the URDP. This alliance is united behind Petrolya and has cause of achieving major change, or even a revolution in Ukraine. The VDR has obviously been declared just as illegal as any other imperialist projects, but in the current situation, they are out of our reach. That's good for us. Okay, we got one person supporting us. We need to get 4 of them to be happy with us. This will be finished in just a few more days. When that's done, it's going to be another support for us here, which is not actually enough to sway anybody, unfortunately. Can I get more people to like me? Lower support for the social liberals. Everybody likes me even more so. The railway issue. Let's get that going. Archduke Wilhelm speaks out. During the Central Powers occupation of Ukraine in 1917, an upstart Ukrainian file, Archduke from Austria, led his riflemen deep into Ukrainian territory and styled himself as the Vasil Vairavachi, King of Ukraine. Supported by Emperor Karl I, the boy who was 22, was to become the ruler of the Austrian-backed Ukrainian monarchy. Mingling with the peasants, he became very popular for his ability to live much like them and his lenient governorship of the territories under his command. Fortunately for us, any Austrian plans for Ukrainian monarchy collapsed in 1919 with the consolidation of German-backed Hetmanate. Archduke Wilhelm fled back to Galicia. But now the pretenders have shown their face at a rally in Poroskoviv, speaking alongside Simon Petrulia, calling for the resistance against a German puppet hetman. You got the old Ukrainian monarchs siding with the Republicans? This man is simply too powerful. I think we should just let him rule. He's got a strong coalition against us. What do I send a tungsten for? Artillery? Yeah. Okay, the URDP proposes temporary nationalization of banking centers. Representatives of the URDP have suggested temporary nationalization of the banking centers in Kiev, Odessa, Kharkiv, and Korokoslov to allow for central government to liquidate unprofitable ventures and stop any economic freefalls. Obviously, this proposal has been met with the fierce resistance from representatives of the VSZV and protivs who are wary of government intervention in the financial affairs of their benefactors. Surprisingly enough, behind closed doors, members of the SHD voiced their support for the initiative, citing excessive unbridled capitalism and lack of economic centralization as the main reasons for the current crisis. So I want... Give me the 40 political power. I'm going to sway you a little bit. I would like to sway the independent deputies as well. We need to get... I want basically everybody except for US KHD on side, if at all possible. Day of the Hetmanate. The Ukrainian state is inexorably tied to the institution of the Hetmanate. In many ways, Pavlo Skoropovsky has been a driving force behind the state since its inception. Although the Ottoman ministers have led the state's government since the end of the Great War, the hetman alone has the right to nominate them, and thus determine the government's character. By design, the hetman is seen by his supporters as the guarantee of the state and society, and a bulwark against radical politics. After all, the state was founded with the support of the landowning interests in the German military, and wasted no time in reverting Republican social reforms. As Ukrainian Independence Day has Republican connotations, the government and supporters instead prefer April 29th, the anniversary of Skorokovsky's election as hetman, as a primary national holiday. A military parade is traditionally held in Kiev to celebrate, followed by a public address by the hetman praising the state's achievements within the last year. The Great Cossack Rada and the local Cossack councils will often organize their own events, even including their own militia parades. Many formal April 29 functions have also noted to have a strong military or paramilitary character to them, perhaps a reflection of where the state's support comes from. Beyond the jingoistic displays, conservative politicians often make other gestures. Ottoman Minister Dorosenko opted to make a statement, applauding the work his government has done and expressing hope that the hetman will be seen as a symbol for all Ukrainians. The Democratic Agrarians have also hosted their own April 29 celebrations, heavily attended by both the party leaders and their aspirants. The Protiv's Industrial Lobby and the Union of Landowners each have also offered the hetman their congratulations, with the latter even inviting him on their own event. The hetman, perhaps tactfully, refused. You know what, let's learn about the hetmans a little bit more. Politically, hetmanism has been represented by several conservative organizations since the elections were reinstated in 1920. Chief among them is the Democratic Agrarian Party. Traditionally, the largest hetman party, the UDKHP, is a champion of the post-independent status quo, holding an agrarian law and order platform that favors a strong government combined with the interventionist economic policies. However, they also view the status quo as a balance between the hetman's role and the initiative of the ministers. As such, they support the continued influence of the Soym, with the minority even favoring a fully ceremonial hetmanate. While the UDKHP has never led one, they have acted as the bedrock of government for the last 16 years. Also notable are the Union of Industry, Trade, Finance, and Agriculture, and the All-Ukrainian Union of Landowners. They represent the representative lobby bodies for the industrial and landowning elites. And Protivs and the VSZV have wielded their large political weight in shape of policy in a pro-business and pro-landowner direction. The VSZV is especially powerful. The hetmanate was arguably their creation, and they have continually frustrated land reforms efforts since 1920. Their partners and protests have grown in importance as the economy has, something both bodies credit for their semi-permanent role in the government. However, the unrest of the late 1920s suggests that devoted hetmanism and the Soym are not capable of preserving national stability, and that a stronger hand is needed. To this end, a loyalist colonel named Boris Homzin partnered with the Great Cossack Rada's head, Ivan Polovets Oristrataya, to form the Union of Hetman State Builders. The SHD is a semi-secret society that seeks to rationalization of the state along autocratic lines, at least until it can be secured through more thoroughly. Their secrecy gives them a bad reputation, and the hetman has accordingly kept them distant. Yet some Soymas fear that there's another wave of unrest could play to their advantage. Again, we want to make sure that does not happen. The railroad is almost ready to go. It'd be done in like 2 more days. By 2, I mean 3. I can count. Trust me. If you get more support from you, Covers 2 months faster. We'll cover 1 month faster. Let's get the state corporations where we can. And we have 4. Okay, so we have the people supporting the bill that wants to support the bill. So maybe I don't take you then? Oh, like we can only take 5 of you. Okay. So I think we need to take these eventually anyways. So we can take this, and then we get some more support here for the market liberals anyway. So it should still work out, I think, in the end. Well, this has 58 days. I guess we could like try to stall a little bit more. Because you'll be done 28, and then you'll be... Okay, I think we'll be good. Question of stockpiled grain. With the price of agricultural goods lowering almost by the day, we've accumulated significant amounts of unsold grain in our stockpiles. Representatives of VSZV and the protest suggest we keep selling the grain, even at these unfavorable prices. Each source of revenue counts, they argue, and besides grain, gains funded may be directed to bailing of various businesses, mostly associated with their benefactors, of course, thus keeping people employed and out of the streets. URDP is quickly to denounce this proposal, stating the money is raised this way should be used to directly help the ailing agricultural sector. Let's support business owners. We love business owners, don't we, folks? And we'll get more support here. Moderates, lower support for the market liberals. I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. But don't listen to me ever. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, so again, we don't care about you. I know you'll be done soon. And you want me to click this button. I don't think I want to click the button, at least not right now. The Baltic Duchy's collapsed. Which does put us in a bit of an interesting spot. Okay, let's, close air support, sure. We'll get the tactical bombers, just to get this off my screen for now. And also make sure we have some fighters looking good. What are we actually building right now? Civilian factories. I want to build more military factories where we can. And can I import anything? We can import some rifles from Szechuan? Absolutely. Let's get that going. Put 4 factories on this. We'll buy some cheap Chinese rifles. Should be okay. I don't think stats make any difference in the game, right? It doesn't matter where the guns are from. They'll all have this. I think they'll all have the same stats. Budget reserves. With the most recent source of our state, revenue source of our state drying up, and no signs of improvement in the near future, some deputies are pondering their possible options. URDP suggests implementing an emergency tax hike on the upper class, arguing that in the conditions of severe economic inequality existing in Ukraine, the poorest social groups have been hit the hardest, and thus it's the responsibility of the wealthy to support the state during the crisis. Why? It's no matter what, it's always these two. Like it comes back to. But you know what? Let me just hold off in a few days before I click this. I want to see where you put us. They're neutral. Okay, we're pogging out. A new wave of protest. The URDP press was quickly to portray the recent decision to use additional funds to bail out various businesses instead of them for agricultural subsidies as yet another sign of collusion between large capital and an uncaring government. While newspapers containing the most egregious articles were quickly removed from sales by authorities, the damage is already done. Okay, social liberalism is going to go up a little bit more. Independent, I mean, the independents still support us, so I'm not going to say no to that. Raise support with everybody. What the hell is my cat doing? I have no idea. It's going crazy over there. There we go. I kind of fixed the issue. Maybe. Nope, no, never mind. Maybe I have not. Anyways. Let's drop the gold standard. We don't need that kind of nonsense in our life. We have another free dock here. Let's go just some cheap, shitty submarines. Like, who cares? The Ukrainian Navy is never going to really be that poor. Like, oh, we got to control the Black Sea. Yay. Meeting at the residence. It's not known what the particular has spurred this invitation, but leaders of the Olshan parliamentary factions were invited to the Hetman's private residence several days ago. The details of the meetings are kept secret, but judging by the reaction of URDP headquarters, one can assume that Skoropadsky has tried to influence ongoing negotiations regarding the relief bill in a more direct manner. We were already popping off. Why you gotta make this worse for me? Okay, cool. Good work, team. We're so happy. So you'll be done I need the independence on side. And you give me 5% stability? What the hell? We might fuck this up, actually. Which would be very, very, very funny. General strike called. The VDR has declared a general strike across the industrial sectors of the country. Much of the countryside has already been swept into civil resistance, but now the unrest has also spread to the cities. Most of Kiev is at a standstill. The units in Odessa, Kharkiv, and Sevastopol have also swiftly joined the battle. Most worryingly, the Morobits and other highline socialists have bounced back into national relevancy as vocal leaders of the strike, spearheading the anti-Hetman rallies in the cities. The demands of the VDR are entirely unreasonable, modeled after the near-socialist programs of Right Ruthenia. Traitors everywhere. Very cool. Very cool. But I will say with that, I think it's a really good time for the end of this episode for today. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoyed, you can always thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.